The most dangerous enemy isn't the one who spits venom in your face. It's the one who smiles warmly while quietly digging your grave. Have you ever felt a chill, the unshakable sense that someone's dislike for you runs deeper than ordinary resentment? The disturbing truth is this: not all enemies announce themselves. Some walk beside you wearing the mask of an ally, their intentions hidden beneath layers of charm, waiting patiently for the moment to strike. And the cruelest part, most never see it until the trap is already sprung. This is not paranoia. This is self-preservation. Some adversaries are not driven by bursts of rage, but by methodical planning. They watch, they wait, and when every piece is in place, they move. The most unsettling fact about these people: they look perfectly ordinary. They may be a colleague, a neighbor, even someone you've confided in. By the time their true nature surfaces, the damage is usually already done. In this video, you'll learn 10 decisive signs that separate mere hostility from a calculated campaign to ruin you. Recognizing them could mean the difference between walking away unharmed or becoming another story people tell with pity. So ask yourself honestly, do you truly know who stands with you and who is simply standing close enough to watch you fall? Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Silent Observer. The most lethal threats rarely make noise. A predator that roars alerts its prey. The deadliest stalks in silence, blending into the background until the strike is certain. By the time you feel the weight of their gaze, it's often too late. The silent observer doesn't just dislike you. They want you gone. They watch, not with curiosity, but with purpose. This isn't the ex who occasionally checks your social media or a nosy coworker fishing for gossip. This is someone mapping your life in high detail. When you leave, where you go, who you see. And here's the unsettling truth: you often don't notice because they don't need to threaten you. All they need is patience. Have you ever had someone mention a place you'd been, though you never told them? Or noticed a particular person appearing in the same spaces as you, over and over again, until coincidence no longer explains it? They don't even need to follow you physically. Piece by piece, they build a map of your world without lifting a finger. Soon they're accidentally at your coffee shop every morning, lingering near the treadmill beside yours, passing through your grocery store aisle. At first, it feels harmless, until their presence becomes too perfectly timed, their knowledge too exact. You try to rationalize it away, afraid to sound paranoid. But this is not paranoia. This is surveillance. Number 2, the quiet betrayal. Some attacks don't arrive with shouting or confrontation. They come slowly, deliberately, like poison dripped into your life, one drop at a time. The most dangerous enemies aren't those who oppose you openly, but those who smile in your company while loosening the foundation beneath your feet. Emily once thought her workplace tension was just the usual friction, an occasional misunderstanding, a difficult colleague. But small changes crept in. Her boss stopped seeking her opinion. Colleagues became distant. Invitations disappeared. There was no single event she could point to, only a growing sense that something had shifted against her. She later discovered someone had been sowing quiet doubts, misrepresenting her words, spreading subtle rumors, not attacking directly, but eroding her credibility from the shadows. Betrayal, when done well, is not a sword strike. It's water on stone, shaping the outcome without ever appearing as the cause. Marcus Aurelius lived surrounded by such figures. The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know the truth. Stoics knew that a life built on the unstable ground of others' perceptions is vulnerable. To defend yourself, protect what cannot be taken, your character. If someone spreads lies, let your actions make them unbelievable. Watch for patterns. If discord and misunderstanding seem to follow the same person, there's a reason. Fortify your relationships with those who know your true nature. Seneca urged, associate with those who will make a better man of you. The truth seekers will see through the fog. Number 3. The mask of friendship. A stranger may harm you, but it is a false friend who can harm you most deeply. They have your trust, your secrets, your habits, and can turn them against you with surgical precision. James was careful about who entered his life until he met Daniel at his new place of work. Daniel was the perfect friend, attentive, supportive, eager to help. Within months he knew James's ambitions, insecurities, even his family. Then James's personal project was stolen, and private struggles he'd only told Daniel began circulating through the office. When confronted, Daniel only smiled. This is the danger. False friends don't confront you. They position themselves close enough to use your own openness as a weapon. As Marcus Aurelius warned, be wary of those too eager to stand by your side. A genuine friend proves loyalty in time. A false one rushes to breach your defenses. Ask yourself, has someone suddenly taken an intense interest in you? Do they know too much? Remember, not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Epictetus cautioned, the more you reveal of yourself, the more you give others the power to use it against you. Chapter 4. The gradual attack. Before violence arrives, it whispers. Small tests, casual intimidation, jokes with an edge that cut deeper than they should. The one who wishes you real harm often begins by seeing how far they can go without pushback. Nathan ignored his co-worker Eric's dark humor until it escalated. Eric began blocking his path, standing too close, accidentally bumping into him harder each time. One day, he dropped a heavy object onto Nathan's desk and murmured, "Imagine if that was your head." This is escalation. A calculated build-up, each step gauging your reaction. If you dismiss it, they move further. Stoicism doesn't mean ignoring danger, it means meeting it with clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Avoidance only gives the aggressor more space. Recognize the pattern early, set boundaries, remove yourself if necessary. Seneca reminded us, a sword never kills anybody. It is merely the hand that wields it. The earlier you see the hand, the easier it is to stop it. Number 5. The long game. Some enemies burn hot and act fast. Others are cold, patient, and terrifyingly precise. These are the ones you must fear most, the ones who use time as their sharpest blade. Ethan trusted his instincts. He'd spotted hostility before, but Daniel, a seemingly loyal co-worker, slipped under his guard. Over years, Daniel collected Ethan's plans, vulnerabilities, and secrets. Then, at the perfect moment, he used them, costing Ethan a promotion, his reputation, and his peace. The patient enemy doesn't need to rush. They study your routines, your future plans, your blind spots, waiting until every variable favors them. Marcus Aurelius cautioned, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The patient enemy dyes theirs in false kindness, letting you believe in their loyalty until the mask drops. Protect yourself by guarding what you share, even with those who seem trustworthy. Value consistency over words. A true ally proves themselves over years. A patient enemy waits for the moment you stop looking. Number 6. The manipulator of perception. There are enemies who attack your body, your work, even your resources. And then there are those who aim for something far more dangerous, your reputation. They understand that if they can twist how others see you, they don't have to touch you at all. Perception is a fragile currency. Once tarnished, even the truth struggles to repair it. The manipulator of perception doesn't act recklessly. They work like an artist, selective, careful, patient. They never lie outright. Instead, they choose their words so they can't be easily challenged. They don't shout accusations. They leave hints, asking questions that plant doubt without ever making a direct claim. Consider Sophia, who had built years of trust with her team. She'd earned a reputation for fairness and competence. Then a new hire, Adrian, arrived. Charming, well-spoken, always helpful in public. Privately, he began his work. "Do you think Sophia's been overwhelmed lately?" he'd ask. "I wonder if she's managing too much at once." Small comments, never harsh, but enough to bend perception a fraction at a time. Soon, decisions she made were questioned. Opportunities she once received went to others. She hadn't changed, but the way others viewed her had. By the time she realized what had happened, the network she had relied on was gone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." But the manipulator lives by the opposite law. They speak just enough to let others fill in the rest. The real weapon is not their words, but your silence in the face of them. How do you defend yourself? First, live with such integrity that lies collapse against your actions. Second, document your truth. Not to defend every rumor, but to have evidence when perception turns against you. And third, understand that when someone works to control how the world sees you, they are attempting to control your future. A Stoic response is not blind endurance. It is calm, deliberate counteraction. Number 7. The architect of collapse. Some people don't just want to win. They want you to lose so completely that you cannot recover. They don't aim for a single blow. They design an outcome where every support you have is removed, every resource drained, until you have nothing left to fight with. These individuals are rare, but when you meet one, you will never forget them. They think in years, not days. They don't just attack you directly. They weaken the pillars around you, your alliances, your income, your confidence, your opportunities. By the time you recognize the pattern, you are not just under attack. You are standing in a life they have reshaped to favor your failure. History remembers such figures well. When Rome fell to its internal enemies, it was not a single invasion. It was 100 subtle fractures, each one weakening the structure until the final blow seemed inevitable. The architect of collapse works the same way. They may smile as they encourage you to make small, harmless decisions that lead you away from your strengths. They may present themselves as a guide, while subtly ensuring that each path you take leaves you more dependent on them or more isolated from everyone else. Seneca warned, "Misfortune weighs most heavily on those who expect nothing but good fortune." The danger of the architect is that they make you believe you are safe. Right up until you find yourself standing on a floor, they have been removing plank by plank. To defend yourself, you must think like a builder, not just a fighter. Maintain multiple sources of support. Keep your skills sharp and your independence intact. Test the strength of every alliance you have, because if someone is slowly dismantling your foundations, you won't have time to rebuild them once they fall. And most of all, remember, a person who plans for your ruin is not playing a game. They are building a certainty. Chapter 8. The Silent Saboteur. Not all enemies face you head-on. Some work quietly, invisibly, pulling strings from behind the curtain. They don't need to confront you because their goal is to undermine you gradually, invisibly, until you don't even see what's been taken. These saboteurs thrive on subtlety. They twist facts, delay important information, or create obstacles that seem like coincidence. The silent saboteur's greatest weapon is your doubt. They make you question your own judgment, your worth, even your sanity. Think of Laura, who once trusted a close colleague to support her project. Slowly, vital emails went unanswered. Key meetings were forgotten. Doors that should have been opened quietly closed without explanation. By the time Laura realized she'd been sabotaged, Her opportunity was gone, not with a bang, but a whisper. The Stoics teach us, if it is not right, do not do it. When faced with wrongs done to you in silence, the greatest strength you can have is clarity. Watch patterns carefully, because when your mind becomes your enemy, the saboteur has already won. Chapter 9. The Emotional Vampire. Some enemies don't just seek to destroy your life, they aim to drain your spirit. These are the emotional vampires, the ones who feed off your pain, your stress, your confusion. They wear you down with constant demands, shifting moods, and ceaseless drama until you no longer have the energy to resist. They may masquerade as friends, partners, or mentors. Their presence feels heavy, exhausting, as if every interaction leaves you a little more empty. The emotional vampire feeds on your reactions, your willingness to engage in their chaos. Your escape is in detachment. Build boundaries like walls. Guard your energy fiercely, and above all, nurture your inner calm. The vampire loses its power when you stop feeding it. Chapter 10. The False Mirror. Humans crave validation, but some prey on this universal need by holding up a false mirror, a reflection distorted to confuse and control. They flatter you just enough to build dependence, then twist that trust into manipulation. This enemy's weapon is praise, mixed with subtle criticism, encouragement laced with doubt. They make you question your own worth by measuring it through their approval. Over time, you begin to lose yourself, wondering if you exist only to satisfy their expectations. Consider the story of Marcus Aurelius himself, who warned, "Do not be deceived. Good and bad are not what others say you are. They are what you know yourself to be." The false mirror fractures that inner knowing. Your defense? Build your self-worth from within. Learn to value your own judgment above all. Seek truth in your actions, not in the reflected gaze of another. When you stand firmly in your own identity, no mirror, true or false, can break you. Every calculated enemy, no matter how patient or subtle, eventually reveals their hand. The final move is the moment when all their silent watching, small betrayals, and manipulations culminate in a decisive strike, often when you least expect it. Here's the secret the Stoics teach. Your true power is in how you respond. You cannot always control the timing. Life will always test you. People will doubt you. Some will try to break you. Others will try to own you. But you are not here to prove them wrong. You are here to prove yourself right. The storms will come. The losses will come. And when they do, you will stand. Not because you are untouched, but because you have built yourself into the kind of person who cannot be moved. So walk forward. Carry your scars like armor, your wisdom like a weapon, and your silence like a king. Remember, your value is not in what the world gives you, but in what it cannot take away. And if you do this, you will not just survive, you will reign. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Stoic wisdom. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and stay Stoic.